never be that free with your emotions. You really don't get to be like that in the real world. Someone might think you're crazy or clingy, but we were all there for the same thing. So yeah.
Well, you certainly didn't seem clingy when you compare yourself to, say, Nikki. Not to be shady, but that's how it comes across. I mean, could you tell, like, did you know what was going on with Nikki? And I mean, like, you were there, and like, I know you guys had some interactions. Could you tell that Nikki was, I mean, all in to the extent that she really was?
Towards the very end, yes, especially when Nikki, Danny, and I go on our triple date. I knew she was invested more so than me, but I don't think I took it as clingy. I think I took it as she has had more time with Danny than I have had. And, I know that I found out they had an overnight date, and like, I didn't know what went on there. So she could also say things to Danny on our triple date that I couldn't really say. And I think that was just the time barrier for me. And I always wanted to be honest with Danny 100%. But no, I mean, I didn't know the extent of, Nikki's maybe bitterness toward my alone time with Danny. Because I honestly didn't feel that way towards her. I just thought all is fair in love and war, and all is fair in reality TV, like, she's going to have alone time with him. She's going to go in his room. So yeah.
Yes, she's going to go in his room a few times, I suppose. Well, listen, props to you. You have moves. You cooked an Italian dinner. Like, you had some moves there.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about the ultimate move of like slipping a letter into, and listen, if I ever want to get back my man and I'm about to lose a man, I'm going to slip a letter into a piece of luggage. That's a really,
right.
Where did that come from? Was that like a back and forth in your mind, or you just said, like, how'd you decide to do that?
I feel like I'm an old soul. So like, I love to write letters. With one of my exes, he would leave early for work, and I would leave like letters on his bed. So that's something that's just like a me thing. I also feel like I can express myself better when I write things down, because when you're like saying something face to face, you get nervous and then you forget. So I also just think the romantic gesture of a love letter is exactly that, a romantic gesture. So yeah, that was just something that I was like, I have things left unsaid that he needs to hear, whether he wants to respond to me or not, but he deserves to know this.
Well, and then you made an appearance in New York City.
Did I? I did, yes.
You did. I mean, the show is, listen, I mean, it's great how it progressed, and how, again, spoiler alerts, how, one person ended up alone and chose themselves. I thought that was great. But this whole thing with Danny really kind of became the central tension of the show of, is it Brooke or is it Nikki?
Yeah.
I mean, when you were in it and you came to New York and put yourself out there, which props to that, because that's a baller move, like, I mean, were you shocked when he just told you that he was going to choose Nikki? Because
yes. Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, I was definitely shook to my core on elimination night in South Lake Tahoe. I totally thought it was going to be me. I don't know if they showed this, but there was one point in elimination, like, I had such like a calm feeling in me, because I felt like that connection with Danny and I was there. And I winked at him at the elimination night. Like, it was kind of like I winked at him because I could see the internal struggle in that guy's face. And I winked at him to be like, you're good, but I really thought it was me. So yeah, yes and no. The shock at the end in New York. And maybe the fact that I'm not shocked is now because I just have clarity and like hindsight. But yeah, I'm sure I was definitely shocked in the moment.
So you haven't like sat there and watched it all yet. I mean, I'm sure you will tomorrow, but
yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much for you. You were there and you were in it. Right. I mean, the way it is edited, not that it's a fake edit, but the way it's edited, it definitely seemed like it was real between the two of you, more so even than Nikki.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously I wasn't there for the moments with Nikki, so I don't know what they had, or I I was closed off in the house. So like when they had their alone time, that's what it was. They had alone time. And I'm sure Nikki didn't know how it was with us. So interesting in the edit, how that's portrayed, because I know they're still together and word is they're happy and I'm happy for them. But yeah, it was real for me.
Wow. So they are definitely still together.
Last time I heard, which I think was like end of September. So yeah.
Interesting. Right. And I can also tell you, I imagine that your DMs are going to be flooded after this comes out, because it's not just that the audience felt it was more real between you and Danny. I think everyone's going to be on your side of wanting it to be you. Just, you got a good edit, which I imagine was true to the form of what was going on. And like, it just really wasn't, it just was obvious that you were going to be chosen. So it really is this shocking like ending. And I think people are going to be like very team Brooke when this all plays out.
Wow. Yeah. You said, I haven't seen it yet. So, I mean, I'm not really shocked that that's the edit, because like you said, it's true. That's how it was. Yeah. Now you're like sending me back to the moment right now. I'm like, yeah, I was really shocked that it wasn't me the second time around.
But I guess at that point, it's kind of like you have nothing to lose, right? Like you were already eliminated and you kind of came back. Or was it harder the second time after coming to New York? And
God, I remember both those moments being so difficult. The first elimination, Danny coming out to me after that first elimination. I was actually quite pissed that he came out to me after eliminating me, because my first thought when he, it's like practically blizzarding on me and I'm crying into the camera, just so upset. When I saw him, it was like a fairy tale romance, like, oh my God, he changed his mind. Like he came out here to get me. And for him to just be like, do you hate me? I was like, well, I do now, like, why are you saying goodbye to me twice? This isn't fair. I think that moment, the second goodbye after the first elimination, was what kind of ripped my heart out the most. I think the goodbye in New York, it was tough, but I don't think it was the worst thing because I had already been through it. Yeah. And like you said, nothing to lose.
And that's how it plays out. When he comes out to get you, you really do feel that it's a change of heart and this is going to go in a whole different direction. And it's kind of like, if you're that in love, I mean, if you chose the right person, you don't really run after somebody else.
Thank you.
Right.
That's what I think too.
That's where my mind goes. Like if it's that clear, as hard a decision as it may be, you don't run after somebody. It's kind of disrespectful to the person that you actually have now chosen. I mean, that's what
I would have been pissed if I was Nikki. Yeah.
Am I bringing you back to all of this? And you're like, oh God, David, why am I reliving these moments with you?
Can you see it in my face? I'm like, it's flashing through my head right now.
Well, this is because I literally just binged it in the past 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, where are you? Like, because like you said, like it was real and you felt it. Like, are you, other than me bringing you back to these emotions?